The Cyberspace Solarium Commission has new recommendations for the cyber workforce in the Office of Personnel Management. The commission says flexible pay and updated job classifications could help recruit the next cyber leaders. Ron Sanders is staff director at the Florida Center for Cybersecurity at the University of South Florida, former chief human capital officer at the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. Ron, welcome. Thanks very much for coming on the program. What's the Cyberspace Solarium Commission recommending, and how should agencies go about finding those people and doing what the commission recommends?
So, Francis, this is sort of like deja vu all over again. The Cyberspace Solarium Commission is recommending a number of changes to the federal civil service to make the federal government more competitive for cyber ninjas. Unfortunately, its recommendations have been around for at least a decade, maybe more. It's good. The good news is that you've got a dedicated group of legislators and staff people who are pushing those changes from outside the civil service committees. So that's that's a positive. But I won't bore you and your viewers with the gory details of the commission, because you've heard it all before. Every recommendation from every committee on civil service reform has followed the same blueprint: quicker hiring, looser job descriptions, more flexibility, better pay and benefits. What else is new?
Yeah, my takeaway from all of those recommendations, Ron, also is that it doesn't just apply to cyber people. It applies to every aspect of the hiring process in the federal government that you and I have talked about for 15 years.
Right. And look, truth in lending. I still consult for the Department of Homeland Security on their cyber talent management system. I also sit on the workforce panel of the NSA Advisory Board. And everybody we talk to says the same thing, Francis. This is the tip of the spear. It's the opening in the door. Get these reforms for the cyber workforce because there's such a compelling, pressing need, and then let that virus spread, no pun intended, well, maybe pun intended, to the rest of the federal workforce. The bottom line up front, the federal government is simply not competitive for cyber talent, at least when it comes to tangibles like pay and benefits. The only saving grace is the mission. The mission is the magnet. It still attracts dedicated people to serve in uniform and as civilians. But even there, work-life patterns have changed dramatically, and a system built 5 decades ago or more for a 30 or 35-year career like mine no longer applies. And yet we're still trying to hire talent under that same model. Hopefully the Cyberspace Solarium Commission's recommendations will come to pass, pun intended, for the federal government cyber workforce, because the alternative is that we'll continue to rely on higher priced contractors to do that mission work.
The two leaders who are leading this effort that you're working on at Homeland Security, Karen Evans, the new CIO, and Angela Bailey, the Chief Human Capital Officer there, have both been on this program talking about that effort in the last several months. Are they doing something different there, do you think, or should leaders like them at other agencies do something different to get the results that we're talking about here, or do they have the tools they need to do these things and just haven't been able to put those pieces together?
So this is my personal opinion, not DHS's, obviously.
Yes.
I think they have the tools. They got the statutory authority to build this system almost 6 years ago now. They've been working on the regulations ever since. I've been helping them along with a team of other formers from OPM and my intelligence community staff. So the tools are all there, but look at the timing. You can talk about what hasn't happened to date, but the regulations are, I hope, largely ready to go. And then here we are in the middle of an election year when, other than the Cyberspace Solarium Commission, nobody's going to pay any attention. So my unfortunate prediction is that we're in for another wait of several months before we can turn key. And even if you turn key, you're still months away from actually hiring under the system. But progress is progress. I'm a glass half full person. And anything I can do to help Karen and Angie, and I am doing that, they know that we're there to support them.
So no disrespect to them or any other leaders in the federal government who I think are doing the absolute best they can under these circumstances, but if we all agree, which everyone seems to, that there is a need at every agency, civilian and military and intelligence, to bring these people in. Is it time to maybe rethink the whole idea of having every agency competing against every other agency for these talented people? And maybe is it time to consider this should happen at, I don't know, OMB level, the DoD level more broadly, and then assign these people where they're needed the most to the agencies where they're needed the most?
Well, look, I'm not a fan of a completely decentralized model where agencies compete against one another. We saw that when I first came to the intelligence community and tried to have a more collaborative approach to hiring. That does not mean the other extreme of centralized hiring, a single register of talent. But there are confederated models that let the federal government set the talent requirements and turn agencies loose to go get those requirements. The good news is that there's enough difference in the missions of the various agencies, from NSA and DHS to FBI, et cetera, that they can make those differences apparent to recruits and hire talent accordingly. So I'd look for something in the middle. It's too decentralized today. It's a mess, particularly with have and have not agencies. DHS is going to be, hopefully soon, a have agency. DoD, particularly at NSA, is a have agency. There are other agencies that are have-nots that don't have those tools, and that competition needs a level playing field. So again, I would advocate a more confederated, more coordinated hiring model rather than every agency for itself.
Ron Sanders, great insight as always. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Francis. Good to see you again.